is going on, and welcome back to What Shall We Do Next? I'm Mike, your host, and I hope you guys are having the best day ever. Before I get started, guys, if you are new here, please subscribe if you haven't already done that. We're on the road to 82,000 subscribers, and I would love you to join me on this journey. So hit subscribe and join the fam. And also, guys, go follow me on all my social media. Links are in the description. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat, so go follow me on all of those. And as you guys know, I recently started a Facebook account, so you can add me on Facebook, and we can be Facebook friends, so go do that. Link is in the description. And finally, be sure to turn on the notification bell right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified every time I upload a video. Thank you. But once again, I am coming back at you guys with another creepy video, and today we are talking about another scary creature. And this scary creature is called the Banshee. So the reason I am doing a story on the Banshee is because I actually thought I saw a Banshee this morning. Crazy story, weird story. Don't ask. I think I wasn't fully awake yet. That was the problem. But for a split second, I thought it was a Banshee when it wasn't. It was just my friend pulling a stupid prank on me. But anyway, guys, the Banshee is a legend or myth from Ireland about a female ghost whose scream sounds like a wild animal. They say that if you hear her wailing, then it is a warning that one of your loved ones is about to die. This is probably the most famous Irish ghost story. But enough of the jibber jabber, let's get right over to the story. The Banshee. The Banshee is a messenger of death. The scream of the Banshee foretells a death in the family. Whenever someone is about to die, she appears, piercing the still of the night with her screams and cries. The wailing of this ghost sounds like an unearthly demonic howling, and it keeps growing even louder and louder until the unfortunate person passes away. She usually wears either a hooded cloak or the winding sheet that the dead are wrapped in before burial. Sometimes she takes the form of a hideous old woman, and at other times she appears as a beautiful young woman just to trick you. She may also appear as a washerwoman, washing blood-stained clothes in the river. On a few occasions, she has been seen washing severed heads and dismembered limbs before an impending disaster. I once heard a story of 3 teenage girls who went to a party one night. Their father had gone off to Dublin on a business and left them to take care of themselves. As the sisters were walking home that night, along a dark country road, they passed by an old church. In the bright moonlight, they were startled to see a hideous woman with long white hair and a black cloak running back and forth on the top of the churchyard wall. She was clapping her hands and wailing loudly. The apparition suddenly vanished, and the frightened girls ran all the way home. The next morning, they got the news that their beloved father had died suddenly the night before. Don't make the mistake of thinking the Banshee is a kind and benevolent ghost just because she warns of death. The scream of the Banshee is a cry of delight. She hates the living and wants everyone to die. Growing up in Ireland, the older folks would delight in telling us tales about the strange and inexplicable spirits that haunt the fields and valleys. The most popular legend was the one about the Banshee. I heard many stories of grown men and women scuttling off across fields and jumping over ditches if they thought they heard her lonesome, mournful scream echoing in the darkness. My parents had a small farm out in the country, and as anyone in Ireland will tell you, strange things are known to happen at twilight, out in the back of beyond. Strange and eerie things, the like of which you wouldn't be able to explain. When I was 10 years of age, myself and my little sister were out playing in the fields. Out of the watchful eye of our parents, we would always be up to some devilment or other. On this particular day, we strayed out further into the wilds than we had before. It was late in the afternoon, and twilight was fast approaching. We were playing a game of hide and seek running back and forth between the ditches and the trees. My sister was hiding in the tall grass, and I was trudging through it on my hands and knees searching for her. All of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a black shape lurking in the ditch. At first, I couldn't make out what it was, but when I took a closer look, it seemed to be some kind of canvas material. The only way I can describe it is that it looked like a sack of old bones slumped in the ditch. Just then, the wind started to blow, and I heard a faint sound carried in the breeze. I stopped in my tracks and listened intently. It sounded like a sort of wailing, very faint and very distant. The noise was somehow unnerving, and it filled me with a strange sense of fear. I crouched there, listening for a while until I noticed some movement in the tall grass to the left of me. The black shape I had seen was now creeping slowly through the grass, coming towards me. As it got closer, the eerie wailing became louder and louder. I stood there, mouth open in terror, watching this ominous bundle of rags slinking towards me. The black shape looked like some sort of tattered robe which was torn and stained with something that resembled blood. I almost jumped out of my skin. My heart began pounding so hard I thought it might leap out of my mouth. Sweat was pouring off of me, and I could hear the blood pumping in my ears. Standing bolt upright, I called out to my sister. "Mayrid," I shouted, "run home to Mommy." My sister must have heard the fear in my voice because I saw her head over the grass. "Now, Mayrid," I shouted, "run!" I didn't need to tell her again. She took off through the fields, running back towards our house. I took off running too, but there was some barbed wire fence up ahead. I looked up to my left and saw the black bundle speeding up. It seemed to be trying to overtake me and cut me off on my only route of escape. I ran like the wind. I ran as fast as I could, and the thing still kept pace with me. Fear was creeping up my spine like a sack full of spiders. As it came closer and closer, I reached the fence, and with a desperate effort, I leaped over it. The bundle of rags rose from the ground and let out a blood-curdling shriek. In a panic, I realized I had become snagged on the barbed wire. When I chanced to look back over my shoulder, I caught sight of the hideous face of an old woman poking her nose out of the tall grass. She looked tall and thin, pale and hollow, with long white flowing hair coming out from under the hood. She was like a thing that hovered between life and death. For a moment our eyes met, and she pointed at me with her long skeletal finger. Then she let out a piercing scream that deafened me. Trembling with fear, I ripped my clothing free of the barbed wire, and I kept running towards home. When I reached the back garden, I collapsed in the bushes and caught my breath. I lay there in the dirt, panting and sweating like a scalded dog, and staring at the bloodstains on my hands. It was then I realized what I had just seen. It was the Banshee, the messenger of death. It was warning of impending doom. Stumbling to my feet, I eventually managed to find the strength to get through the back door. I found my little sister standing in the kitchen. She was deathly silent, and there were tears in her eyes. Our mother was lying dead on the floor. And that is the end of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Very scary. I would not like to meet a banshee. Just something about this freaks me out. Something about seeing this woman just standing there and screaming, that would freak me out. Like, it's not even the consequences of it. It's just seeing that would freak me out the most. Oh man, banshees freak me out. But my question to all of you for question of the day is, what do you think of a banshee, and what would you do if you saw one? How would you prevent like any kind of death following this warning, or do you think it's just impossible to avoid the death once you've heard her? Let me know what you guys would do or what you guys think. That is question of the day. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please slap a like on it. Let's see if we can go for 92 billion likes on this video. I would really appreciate that. And if you guys didn't see my previous video, you can click on the outro right about here and it will take you straight over to that. Or if you just want to watch another random video, you can click this side and that will do that too. But remember, the most important thing of all, guys, chase your dreams. I love you all. Don't let anybody bring you down, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another video. Peace out.